Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and on today's video I am back here at Universal Orlando Resort, and in today's video I'm going to break down 5 oldie but goodie Universal Orlando tips that you need to know about for your next family vacation. And one of them I used to give all the time years ago. I stopped, but it's very important that you understand that I'm giving this tip again in the summer of 2026 because I don't think most people realize that there is a huge change that just happened here at Universal Orlando Resort that is going to impact every single family visiting Universal this summer. Doesn't matter if you have the Express Pass, you don't have the Express Pass, you're using early park admission, you're not. This is an important one. So if you're planning that Universal Orlando trip, just be sure to stick around until the end of this video. As always, I'm very excited, so let's go get started. Okay, so just like my last couple of videos, I'm also going to give you some updates and just little tips and tricks, additional things that I'm seeing throughout the day here at Universal Orlando Resort. And so we have some new construction going on here at the brand new Fast and the Furious coaster that's going up at Universal Studios Florida. It's kind of crazy to see it that close to the walking path. I'll show you guys sort of how far out this coaster is coming over into City Walk. Right there, and then obviously we have the ball right there. It's gonna be crazy. Okay, so tip number 5 of oldie but goodie Universal Orlando tips that you need to understand when you're coming down to the theme parks. And we're starting with one that has to do with planning, and that is of course understanding the 3 Signature Collection hotels that come with that free 2-park Express Pass. So now it's a couple different moving parts here, right? The first one is understand that there's 5 hotels in the Signature Collection. There is the Hard Rock, there is Loews Portofino Bay Resort, there is Loews Royal Pacific Resort, we have Helios Grand Hotel, which is the newest one, and then we have Loews Sapphire Falls Resort. Only 3 of them come with the free Universal Express Pass, and that is going to be Hard Rock, Portofino Bay, Royal Pacific. But the type of Express Pass is also very important. It is only a 2-park unlimited Express Pass, 2 parks being Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida. That Express Pass that comes with the hotels does not include Epic Universe or Volcano Bay. So if you're spending a significant amount of time at those parks that I just mentioned, Volcano Bay, Epic Universe, you might be better off at a different hotel. Now, as you're pricing your hotel options here at Universal Orlando Resort, the reason why it's important to understand that is if you know that maybe you're doing 1 day at Epic Universe, but a good amount of time at the original 2 parks, then you might want to look into those hotels. The Express Pass, when you purchase it on its own, per person per day, can easily run you, I would say, $175 up to $275 for the 2-park unlimited Express Pass. So you could see there's a couple different ways to kind of game the system. I've done a ton of videos on how to really sort of price and make sure you're getting the best deal. Be sure to go check out our videos on, I did one that pretty much is the free Express Pass at the hotel is worth it. I'm not going to dive too much into the numbers, but what I would say is my tip and trick here is I looked at the prices, and typically Royal Pacific is the cheapest hotel that comes with the free Express Pass. However, what I saw recently was I looked at the dates of November 13th to the 17th, and we had Loews Royal Pacific, which was the cheapest at $848 per night. But Portofino Bay wasn't too much more. It was $852 per night, and Hard Rock was the most expensive at $926 per night. But make sure you understand the different moving parts and the caveats. I would say from a walkability standpoint, Hard Rock is the closest to Universal Studios Florida. Royal Pacific is the closest to Islands of Adventure. So if you're coming for horror nights, Hard Rock is probably the go-to. You're coming for those early park admission mornings, Royal Pacific. That's tip number 1 on the list. Okay, so tip number 3 of the oldies but goodies that you should be aware of coming down to Universal Orlando Resort. And so I like talking about early park admission on my channel. You'll see I'm probably going to talk about early park admission in a little bit, but this one is the opposite. And so this one is that you can essentially get in line right before the park closes. So the strategy here is for some of the most popular rides, such as the Velocicoaster, we got the Incredible Hulk coaster right there, maybe Hagrid's, but this is also going to be very popular for over at Epic Universe. So when it comes to Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry, when it comes to Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, one of the popular tips is you can get on that line right before the park closes. And as you can imagine, the strategy or the hopeful thinking is that the wait times will be a lot less than what they are maybe midday or early in the morning. Now, here's the caveat over at Epic Universe, which is a hot topic for a lot of families coming down to Universal Orlando. My one sort of thing that you have to keep an eye out for is specifically for Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. If you've been watching my channel, you know when it comes to early park admission, for Epic, I typically recommend to go to Battle at the Ministry first if it's one of the most important rides for you to do. The reason why I don't like coming back to it at night, or what you have to be aware of coming back to it at night to use this strategy, is if the line reaches capacity, then Universal will actually cut that line off, and meaning you can't get on the line really late at night right before the park closes because it's already at capacity. So there is also, kind of just knowing which rides this is best suited for. My opinion is over at Epic Universe, Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, slam dunk. I love going to Super Nintendo World at night, so I just think it makes the most sense. Here at Islands of Adventure, I definitely feel like it's going to be Hagrid's Magical Creatures or possibly the Velocicoaster, two rides that this could work really well for. But in general, just something to keep in mind that if the park's closing at 9 o'clock at night and it's 8:55, you can go and hop on a line. One of the other important things too that I would keep in mind as I'm talking through this with you guys is when it comes to eating, and specifically quick service in the park, you have to be mindful that the quick service restaurants will close an hour or 2 hours before the park actually closes. So, you do have to be sort of planning around that, especially if you're getting hungrier as the night goes on. So bonus tip here as I'm walking past the Hogwarts Express. So one of the most important things to understand, and I've spoken about this definitely, is that you do need the park-to-park ticket in order to ride the Hogwarts Express. That's nothing new, oldie but goodie, but that's not the tip. The tip and trick here is if you have the base tickets and you're like, hey, you know what? I want to go on the Hogwarts Express. I want to go park to park. You can upgrade your tickets right here. You actually do not have to walk to the front of the park in order to upgrade your ticket. So something to keep in mind, so to save you some time. What I would also say too is, and I've spoken about this now a couple of times on our channel, is the park hours. So coming into summer 2026, but really beyond, what I'm seeing Universal do is they're having one of the parks, let's say Universal Studios Florida, open up at 10 a.m., but Islands of Adventure is opening up at 8 a.m. My opinion on why they're doing this is I feel like they really want you to sort of, feel like you're missing out if you don't have that park-to-park ticket, because a 10 a.m. start feels kind of late if you're only going over to Universal Studios Florida, and that might be the case for a lot of families, the FOMO, right? You feel like you're missing out. The park-to-park option also is a little bit cheaper to add it on than it was last year. You don't have to pay it per day. It's a one-time flat fee to add park-to-park onto your tickets. So just something to keep in mind as you're coming down to the parks. So as you can see, it's definitely gonna have an impact on every single family. It's a 120-minute wait right now, and it is about 10:30. So it's just gonna be something you have to plan around, and something that I do think is really important to understand. Okay, and so we do have Hogwarts Castle actually was going through a sort of refurb, if you can call it that, but the entire side of the castle was covered, and now we have, it's back. And I know that we were expecting this because we have Hogwarts Always is returning to the parks for the summer of 2026, and which is the cool nighttime show. I just passed the sign, and they now have it in the parks. It pretty much just says, pretty sporadically. I guess that's not the right word. They pretty much they run it like every couple minutes. I would say every 15 to 20 minutes at night once it hits, the sun goes down. So just ask a team member to see when, you can catch it, but it's pretty consistently, my wife's laughing at me. It's pretty consistent throughout the night on nights that they have it running. If you were watching my video 2 weeks ago, you already know that I said to bring your refillable cup, your Coke Freestyle cup back, and you can get refills. So just an update, we just got a refill for the day, and it was $12.99. So with tax, it came to $13.83. what I would say there is, in order for you to get your money's worth, you probably have to refill the cup 3 times. Okay, so another thing that people might not realize here in Universal Orlando, I should really say Islands of Adventure, in the Marvel section, there's actually an arcade. So I grew up down the Jersey Shore, as I probably come off like I grew up down the Jersey Shore. But one of the cool things about coming to Islands of Adventure is you do have an arcade in here, and especially when you're coming with young kids, they can kind of run around, blow off some steam. So you do have to pay, but we paid. My wife and I, we saw the same thing in our, like, you know, when you're married, you kind of just read each other's thoughts. So we're going to try to win one of these little Stay Puft. He's not a snowman. Stay Puft. Which one do you think? I don't know if we're going to be able to get that one. We'll try again, but I think this gives us the best chance. Oh, it's rigged. It's a rigged game. What are your thoughts? There's no way. There's no way we're grabbing that. All right, we'll give it one more try. All right, we're giving it a try. We want one of the big ones. I can already tell, though. I'm a pro at these hook games. I'm a sucker. It's not going to hook it. Listen, we gave it our best shot. Maybe we'll try Spider-Man. They have some Harry Potter ones, so maybe we'll go check out. If you're going park to park and you're walking from Islands over to Universal Studios Florida, or even walking from Islands or Universal Studios Florida over to the buses, the shuttles to take you to Epic, walk through the souvenir shops as you're leaving, because you will get into the AC. No, not when I'm buying anything. You will get into the AC and cool off a little bit.
All right, so my wife just brought up a good point. You kind of have to know what you're getting yourself into, because my wife has a habit of liking to shop for all the merch. So I know the risk and reward. You at home, you have to understand the risk and reward too. And the first thing she said was, yeah, good luck taking, 3 kids into a souvenir. I'm sorry. But sometimes, if you want to get out of the Florida sun, it's just the price you have to pay.
Something new too, guys. If you could see that I'm celebrating little booth right there. So what we're seeing is, if you've been watching my channel, as you're coming to the parks, if you're celebrating a birthday, you can get a I'm celebrating button. But I used to tell folks to go to any of the ticket booths or, guest services, or just ask at the gift shops. But it looks like they have someone standing out there that you could easily now just go up and get a button. I can't guarantee it's going to be there every time, but they're also celebrating. Like, they're saying, everyone wish a happy birthday, to so-and-so. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so next tip and trick, tip number 4 on oldies but goodies. And so we have made our way over to Universal Studios Florida. And so the tip here is, this park, in my opinion, is the best park for days that it might possibly rain. But also, this park is the best park for families who are coming with grandparents or just older individuals in general. I get a lot of feedback on my videos, and I love you guys. I love all the support. But a lot of the ideas that people send over to me, they're like, hey, can you do a video on, for people who don't go on a ton of rides? Can you do a video, I'm bringing my grandson, what is the best park for me to go to? And so that's why in this video, I am breaking down why I feel like Universal Studios Florida is the better park. Now, there's a couple different reasons why I feel that way.
The main reason is Universal Studios Florida, at this point in time anyway, does not have any outdoor role. They will in the future, but as of right now, they do not. Even when they have the Fast and the Furious Coaster here, I still think this is the better park. The main reason is a majority of the rides here are going to be those sort of indoor motion simulator rides. And also, there's a really, really good amount of shows here. So one of the very popular shows is right behind me. We have the Born Stuntacular, but we also are going to have the our makeup show will be coming back at some point. That is another really, really fun show here at Universal Studios Florida. We have animal actors. I just feel like there's more for people who aren't crazy about rides or grandparents, older individuals to do. Now, when you compare this to, let's say, Islands of Adventure or Epic, I would really say Universal Studios Florida is number 1. Epic could be number 2. Islands could be number 3. It's a toss-up, though. The thing that I'm not crazy about it, Islands of Adventure, is let's just start with 3 of the rides, and you have the Jurassic Park River Adventure coming back. 3 of the rides you can potentially get soaked on, I would say. And there's shows over at Islands of Adventure, like sit-down shows as well. And some of the tips and tricks that you could do within that is, if you still want to go on the water rides, of course, you can bring ponchos to make sure you don't get soaked. Over at Epic, we do have two really cool shows. We have the Untrainable Dragon show. We also have the Sarkar Canoes. I feel like Epic Universe though is definitely here toward those faster moving rides. My wife and I have gone and we've done a day where we just do the interactive wands, power up bands. But with that said, if that's not your thing, if you want a good mix of some rides you can get on, which are the simulators, some shows that you can enjoy, Universal Studios Florida is definitely the park for you. And if you are planning your Universal Orlando trip and you're overwhelmed, you're trying to plan your days when you're not sure where to start, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. We actually milled out a complete day planning tool, itinerary planning tool. Gives you estimated wait times. You pretty much can pick to the ride you want to go on and you could put the order. It will estimate what your day looks like for start to finish. You could go and use that tool. You can plan one day absolutely free. Or if you get your discount Universal Orlando tickets spend less, you can use that tool for as many days as your heart desires. I'll leave the link down below. And while you're down below, just be sure to hit that subscribe button if you do need more Universal Orlando planning videos just like this.
All right, so we made it over to this New York section of Universal Studios Florida. So something that I thought was really cool, I don't know if you guys could see, but they have the fire hydrant here opened up and it's spraying water out. So if you have young kids, I've never seen this before. And I come to Universal a bunch. I've never seen that, so I can't guarantee that it will be like that. But if you have young kids, that's definitely a little fun surprise. So tip number 2 of oldies but goodies when coming down to Universal Orlando Resort that you should know about, and that is now shopping strategically. So when it comes to merchandise, we've joking around in this video. One of the things you want to be mindful of is carrying those bags around all day long. So luckily, the cool thing is if you're staying at a Universal Orlando Resort, they do have free delivery back to your resort. The caveat is you can't do it on your if your checkout day is the next day, because you actually won't get your merch until the next day. But it's also important for me to note there's an old trick that used to work for day guests where you could get your merchandise delivered to the Universal Orlando store at the front of City Walk and just pick it up there. They got rid of that. From what I have seen, you can no longer do that. So for my day visitors, what I would really say is the best tip and trick if you don't want to carry those bags all day long is to just shop at the end of the night so that you pretty much just grab the stuff and then you kind of head on your way.
But another one that's important to note is that Universal Orlando does have lockers that you could pay to rent for the day. So if you see something that's just too good to pass up, but once you have it, you realize like, hey, I really don't want to carry this around. You can take a peek around to see where they have those lockers that you can rent and just kind of put the stuff in there for the day and then pick it up on your way out of the park. But that's really it. Just little things like that. And that feeling like when you're carrying a bag, it's awkward. You got to remember to, you sit down for dinner. We did it yesterday. My wife and I, we went to eat in Epcot and Walt Disney World. We got up, she forgot her backpack. I went running back to grab it. So the less bags, the better, in my opinion. And that's just one of the ways you can kind of plan around it. That is it, everyone. They're playing New York in the background. So I decided this is where I'm going to end this video on the 5 tips and tricks, the oldies but goodies that you need to know about. Of course, Hagrid's is the main one that everyone really needs to be prepared for coming down to the parks. And of course, hopefully you found this video helpful to this point. And if you do have a Universal Orlando trip coming up, just be sure to hit that subscribe button. As you can see, there's a lot of changes that are constantly going on. Universal does things one day and it's changed the next. So you really have to be in the know and be prepared if you want your vacation to go smoothly. And if you do need help planning that Universal Orlando trip, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. For a limited time, we are giving an extra $10 off all of our discount Universal Orlando tickets. And we have an extra $50 off vacation packages, Park Prodigy 10 for your tickets, Magic 50 for your vacation packages. Go save some extra money and you'll get my help, my team's help planning an amazing Universal vacation. I think that's all the time we have for today. Until next time, I will talk to you guys soon.